Back with another book review, not just finished, but finished. The Stranger in the Lifeboat. This would have been my only book for July and my 16th book of the year. I did give this book 4 stars. The premise is easy enough to understand. There's strangers in a lifeboat, believe it or not. There's like a big cruise ship that had like a bunch of billionaires and millionaires on it, and it explodes, and so there's a mix of like passengers and then like the crew workers, and actually the guy who was hosting like the event in the cruise is also on the lifeboat. So I think there's like 7 or 8 people, and it's only when they're on the lifeboat, it's only one point of view. Benji, he's our main character. But it does switch between Benji kind of writing down what's happening in the lifeboat to future, present day, where an inspector finds the lifeboat empty and finds what Benji had wrote. So again, the story is easy enough to understand. It's just these people in a lifeboat trying to survive, but they pick someone up, like that's floating in the ocean, and that someone says that they're God. And the person says that once everyone believes he is who he says he is, he will save them. And throughout the story, it's not like really heavy on religion or really faith. It's just that question of what would you do if someone presented themselves to you as God? Like, would you believe them? So the first thing the people in the lifeboat do, they're like, well, prove it. Prove that you're the Lord, which I think is a reasonable response. And he does things here or there throughout the story that, convince some of the passengers to believe that he is God. But then some other passengers who are like dead set that he's not, explain like what is happening like away and explain it not as like a miracle or as God doing it, but as something else. So I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars was I wish there was more points of views of the other passengers on the raft. The only point of view we get when they're on the raft is from Benji. So it would have been nice to see what other characters were thinking. He kind of says what he thinks they're thinking or what they're doing, but I think it would have been more of a dynamic story had we seen other points of views. And sometimes I'm on the fence with like too many points of views, but I think in this scenario it would have been helpful. And it was a really quick read, even though it was the only book I read in July. I read it towards the end of July, and so it didn't take me but maybe a few days to finish. So I would recommend it, and I am interested to see what kind of discussion there is out there about this and about faith.